Hi everyone and welcome to another video. So today I have recently seen a lot of people struggling with guessing in Europe on Geoguessr. So I am here to help. Here are my top tips for making some good guesses in Europe. So tip number one. Tip number one is knowing which countries in Europe are actually covered in Geoguessr. So unfortunately most countries are covered, which makes it very hard to guess in Europe. However, there are a few anomalies that we can spot and we can kind of take out of the mix when we are trying to put in a guess. So as you can see, when I hover the yellow man over Europe, most of Europe is covered. However, the big anomaly is Germany in the middle here. Now, most of Germany's rural coverage is not covered. However, most of its cities are covered, and I will show you some of that coverage just now. So I have dropped down into Berlin, and as you can see, this is the German coverage. We have this kind of massive circle underneath us. This is what we call Generation 2 camera. You've got the kind of hazy halo above us too. But the main thing to note about Germany is these things, these massive blurs. This is because Germany has very strict privacy laws and some people don't like having their houses covered. So in Germany you get a lot of these blurs that cover most of the houses in some of the German cities. So that's why we call it Blurmany. The next country you will notice is Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is not really covered by Google at all. It's all by individuals or private individuals. It won't come up on Geoguessr pretty much unless someone chooses it in an unofficial map. The last country to mention is Belarus. So as you can see, Belarus literally has no coverage whatsoever. The only coverage you will find in Belarus is in its city centre called Minsk. As you can see, that coverage is incredibly small. There's only a few streets that are covered by it, and when you plonk into it, it is in fact very distinctive. It does pop up sometimes, so you do need to be aware of it if you are playing the Europe map. It's also worth mentioning that countries such as Iceland and the Faroe Islands are also covered in the Europe map, so do be aware of that when you are playing the game. Tip number two. So tip number two is actually distinctive countries in Europe. So one of the most distinctive countries in Europe is in fact the United Kingdom. The reason for this is because the United Kingdom drive on the left, as do Ireland, and these two countries do look very similar. So if you find cars are driving on the left, you are either in the UK, Ireland, or in fact Malta, but Malta looks very different to the UK, I'm sure you'll agree. Another country that is distinctive from the rest in Europe is Iceland. Iceland is very distinctive just purely based on its landscape. You get this kind of dark soil on the side of the road, and you also find Icelandic bollards, which are bright yellow, unlike any other European country. So some other distinctive countries are actually Albania and Montenegro. This is due to these two countries having what we call rifts, and this is what they look like. So this is basically where the camera has been cut in the editing process and it hasn't quite been cut properly and neatly, so therefore that you get these massive lines in the sky, which is what we call rifts in Geoguessr. You only find these in Albania and Montenegro in Europe, so hopefully that narrows it down for you. However, it is worth noting that you don't find rifts all the time. These are very useful, especially in Europe. Top tip number three, bollards. Now bollards are quite useful in Europe due to the fact that quite a lot of the countries have distinctive bollards from one another. It does take time to learn these bollards, however I think it is useful over time. There are some countries that are definitely more distinctive than others. For example, I am showing you the French bollard. As you can see, it's quite thick, it's got a red reflector on it. Okay, and tip number four. So tip number four is license plates in Europe. So some countries in Europe do have really distinctive license plates from others. Now obviously in Europe we have the typical number plate, which is the EU number plate with the blue strip on the left hand side. However, some countries do have distinctive plates from others, such as the Netherlands. So the Netherlands has yellow on the front and yellow on the back. So this only happens in the Netherlands and in Luxembourg. So as you can see, there is some yellow on the front and some yellow on the back. However, in Luxembourg, sometimes there is a slight mix. So sometimes you get some white on the front and yellow on the back, but it's mostly yellow on both sides, on the front and the back. So I did show you an image of the UK earlier, and you may have noticed that the UK also has very distinctive plates. So the UK has yellow on the back, we have white on the front. So if you are seeing a car driving on the left with a white plate on the front and a yellow plate on the back, you know you're in the UK. However, if you are driving on the left and you have white plates on the back, you know you are in Ireland. So Ireland doesn't follow the UK, they have white on the front and the back, but they still do drive on the left. So it's a very, very distinctive country in Europe. So another very distinctive plate is Belgium. So Belgium do have white plates front and back, but they also have some red writing on their license plates. So if you see a car such as this one, with a white plate and a kind of red haze on the plate, then you know that you're in Belgium. So the last one I'm going to mention today before I overload your brain with information is Norway. So Norway has green plates on some of its cars, and so green plates are incredibly distinctive in Europe. So if you have green plates, you know you're in Norway. So overall, there were just some quick tips for you to get started guessing in Europe. Let me know if these helped you at all. If you want some more, please do let me know. I will bring out some new videos about Europe in the future if you wish, or other parts of the world if you're struggling there as well. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Hopefully I'll see you on Twitch when I'm next streaming, or if not, I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Thanks guys!